What's the deal? This is your main man, Mr. Athletic over everything, and today I want to have a discussion. I'm new to the grilling game for the most part. I've been at this now roughly about 2.5, 3 years, but I'll say over the last year and a half, I've been extremely consistent with my grilling. I've always been a very good cook. Most of the men in my family are cooks, but I'm more on the side of I have my own little style in which I like to cook things. It's not the most delicate, it's just good food. But I'm getting into grilling, and the people who I learned about grilling from, they're more old school. So some of the things and the way they think about grilling is much different than someone of my age group, as well as the way that I like to learn. I've always been one of those people who enjoyed learning about new ways to do things, as well as being more efficient. I'm sorry, I'm trying to set this shot up. But anyway, I was told by a lot of new school barbecuers that one of the number one important things to do is make sure that you have something that can read temperature. A lot of people like going by feel, touch, you know, using toothpicks and forks and things of that nature, but sometimes it's good just to know exactly what it is that you're looking for when you're looking for it. Now, I'm bringing this up because I recently went out and bought the Traeger. This is the Traeger instant read thermometer. The package is a little mangled. See if I can get the focus. My dog actually got to it, and so it kind of took a chunk out of it. There you go. And to be honest with you, I really wasn't pleased with this particular thermometer. I paid roughly 60 bucks for it. I thought at the time that it was a little girthy, or it was like the build quality on it was pretty good. And it's funny that this happened to me in this instance, because I've always been someone who typically goes and buys the best right away. I normally don't play around with imitations or copies or anything like that. I always go out and buy the number one thing on the market the first time, so I don't have to buy it again. Now, this one is one of those things where it gives you the, like, as soon as you open it up, it turns it on. It, for whatever you mind, opens in Celsius, but it gives you the ambient temperature of the room, which is cool, and I actually thought that was a good touch. But what happened with this particular thermometer, this screen went completely black, and before it went black, it was given like all kind of weird numbers and things of that nature, and it took a long time to come up with the temperature. So if you tried to probe something, it wouldn't give you the reading right away. The numbers just kept climbing. It just, and you're over fire. And at the time, I didn't really understand you should wear some gloves or something like that. You're trying to read temperatures over 700 degree griddles and stuff like that. And when it went black, I contacted the barbecue guys, because that's who I purchased this from, and they were like, what happened? I told them. They sent another one right out. So with that being the case, shout out to them. But they sent one out, and they sent me another one. So I got it, and to be honest with you, I just wasn't impressed with it. So I went out, spent the big boy bucks, and bought the Therapro pen. This is the Thermapen MK4. This is pretty much the industry standard for all the top guys on Instagram, YouTube, and stuff like that who do barbecue. Went and purchased this. They're normally like $99. I bought this one for $85 because this color, when it was on sale. So you know, I had to wind up with a coral colored pen, but I was able to save 15 bucks, and for the price savings, I thought it was worth it. But right before I purchased this, these were actually on sale for $79, and I just missed the sale by a couple of days, but it's 5 bucks, whatever, right? So it comes with the thermometer. You have to pull a little plastic piece to, I guess, turn on the battery, and it gives you basically like an instruction manual, a certification of calibration, and basically operating instructions. Now, what I will say right away is that you can tell the difference in these two builds. This thing is girthy. This thing has some weight on it. The numbers on it are much clearer. They also have a backlight on this as well. And the one thing I did like was that when you're probing and you have to change the position, the numbers flip-flop. So you'll always be able to read the thermometer no matter what. Now, the other thing that I did notice is that these two things are kind of close on certain things. So right now, let's say, so the Thermapen is reading 83 degrees Fahrenheit. This one is still reading. So that's kind of what I was getting at. Like, this thing is like, it's still moving. You know, it's still trying to find what's going on. You know what I'm saying? So after like 6 or 7 seconds, it finally settled. Whereas the Thermapen, as soon as you open it up, it's like, let's see. We're gonna just open it up and see what happens. So basically, 1 second, it just gave us a number, a reading, something that you can stand on. Let's see what's gonna happen with this. And I already know this is gonna come out in Celsius. So let's see. Hold up. See, it's still going. You get the point. It's like it's not as accurate, or it's not as fast. I like knowing, especially when you're doing a steak under 700 degrees with a grill mate or something like that, a grill grate. You don't want it to stay a couple of extra seconds. It doesn't have to. You want the reading right away. And the difference in these two pins is roughly 50 bucks. Now, what I would say is that instead of spending $50 for something that's okay, just go ahead and spend the 100 bucks or the $85 for the right thing right away and save yourself time. This pen, I just can't justify it, and I couldn't tell you to buy it. I've also found that the little there's a pen made by what the hell? Something went out. Oh, okay. All right, I'm tripping. That was a camera went out. There's a pen made by Kingsford, and that little grill is okay. That little pen is okay, but it's $12. I would much rather have that pen over this $50 pen by Traeger. So what I would say is that go ahead and spend that extra cash, and don't look back. Now, what I did notice is that they make another line above this that has Bluetooth and infrared detection and all kind of stuff like that I'm also interested in. So I may be buying one of those as well. But until then, I would say that if you had the choice between the two, go with the Thermapen, the MK4 over the Traeger $50 pen. Don't be cheap. Don't cheap yourself, and don't cheat yourself. And I hope you guys go out there and enjoy your cooking. All right, later.